And Villanova-Cincinnati was the game I certainly didn't expect to be that competitive, albeit the game in Philadelphia. And Villanova won 68-60. Eric Dixon pouring in 31 points tonight in the win for the Wildcats. The Wildcats used to be a feared program. They're not that anymore, but CJ got themselves a big W tonight against Cincinnati.
Yeah, really impressive game. And if you tuned in and like you didn't know Villanova was 4-4 and has just some awful losses on the resume, you'd be like, oh, okay, normal Villanova, really guards, shoots it pretty well. Eric Dixon is a load to guard. Like that dude, when he starts backing you down and no help comes, and you're on an island with him, that is not a fun place to be. He was terrific. Jameer Breakus was really good. Really good win for Villanova. Cincinnati, I know hadn't played anybody yet, but their computer numbers were really good so far. Obviously, there's another instance though of going on the road against a high major for the first time. You lose, so it's not ready to write off Cincinnati yet. They really could not make a shot tonight and struggled offensively, where their offense has been pretty good so far. So, but this was a huge win for Cal Neptune. Like he needed something positive to happen, and I still think they have like enough talent to maybe turn this around and be a team that competes middle of the pack at least in the Big East. But he probably needs to make an NCAA tournament, so they got to get a bunch more of these. This season, but it was a good start. Wooga Poplar had some moments. He hadn't been off to the best start, but good game for him. And like I said, Eric Dixon, like that dude is one of the hardest guys to guard in the country, and they're going to have a chance, kind of like Rutgers. Like Rutgers always has a chance because of the two pros they have, two young pros. Villanova should have a chance in a lot of games if when they're able to get Eric Dixon the ball in good spots.
Jarrell Real or Fool's Gold win for Villanova? Can they build off it?
I'm going to say that they have a pulse. They have a heartbeat. Villanova has a heartbeat, ladies and gentlemen. But CJ kind of hit it on the head. It wasn't the prettiest game. Cincinnati was right around that 7 to 8 point margin all game long. They fought hard, but at the end of the day, their two best players, Jizzle James and I think it's Lukosius is how you pronounce it. They both were really off. They had bad shooting night. Jizzle James was 8 for 18. Lukosius was 4 for 14 or something like that. They just didn't really shoot the ball particularly well tonight. Now the question is how much of that had to do with Villanova's defense, which I do think some of it did, not necessarily all of it. But at the end of the day, they have a pulse. If it was going to happen, it needed to happen now. They got a big win before getting to conference play. So like I said, they have a heartbeat. But on the flip side of that, I have zero confidence that they're going to turn this thing around. And it's primarily that I watched the game. I watched probably too much of the game. Eric Dixon can't go for 40 every night. That can't be their recipe, for winning ball games. I don't see the point total getting to where it needs to get for them to win enough games to be relevant this year, because he's gonna have to go for 40. And tonight he played out of his mind. I seen him. I seen the big fella do a fade off a pin down and a hard rip through to a one dribble pull up three, and I'm just like, man, this is crazy. But he really had it going tonight, man. He's a hell of a player. He's one of the best we have in the college game that's still left. And obviously, he's been around for a while, but I don't think that's sustainable going forward, night in, night out. And they're just not getting enough offensive production from some of those other guys. Brickus was good. He tends to heat up and then kind of just disappear a little bit. Like he got it going first half and then really was a no-show a bit in the second half. So, but at the end of the day, I will say I'm happy for Neptune, man. My God, things have been hot for him, obviously, with some really bad losses, and I'm sure he hasn't had a whole lot of good days. So, I'm happy for him, man. Throw a little bit of water, put some ice on his head or something, man. Cool things down a little bit. It always helps to get a big win, and obviously, happy for the conference, the Big East. They're battling back, so we kind of been taking our lumps too. in the non-conference play here. So we got a chance to make some noise here against the Big 12, what was supposed to be, if not the best compared to the SEC. I would say probably everybody's considered to be the best or the second best league as far as basketball is concerned this year.
And some more opportunities for the Big 12 coming tomorrow and the Big East to make a statement. It's just been a disaster with Kyle Neptune, and I'm glad to, at least for tonight. At least for tonight. He gets to smile and rest easy a little bit. BYU Providence tonight, that game, home game for the Friars, and they dominate over BYU. 83-64 was the final score. Looked pretty damn convincing in the process. They shot 60% from the field as opposed to BYU's 33%. They hit 12 threes in the process, or 54% from the outside. Did a little bit of everything well tonight. Providence did against BYU. Another big win for the Big East. CJ, your thoughts on Providence over the Cougs?
Well, first of all, I'd like to issue a public apology to Yegor Dimon. He suffered the athletic curse today, I guess, kind of like, there was the SI cover curse back in the day. I had a story come out on Yegor today, and then my dude went out and went 0 for 10 from the field, had just, I think, a season low 2 assists. Not a great night for him, not a great night for the Cougs. They're a team that really needs, is going to rely on their offense this season, and I think defensively is probably going to be their weakness, and Providence put them on them today, and good for Providence getting Bryce Hopkins back. 16 points in his first game of the season. That's a huge gain for Providence. Not too often you can add like a borderline All-American caliber guy and a month into the season, and then he comes right out and throws up 16 points. So I think this was a big win for Providence after going to battle for Atlantis and losing all 3 games there. They Kim English really needed this one, and good win for Providence. Another home team winning, kind of a common thread tonight, but this is one that Providence really needed, I think, to get some positive momentum going. And they play Rhode Island next, who has been one of the more kind of sneaky, surprising teams so far. I believe Rhode Island's still undefeated, and Archie Miller has those dudes rolling. So big game this Saturday, Providence at Rhode Island. So I think that was one that Kim English really needed.
He needed it. He got it. And I think you made a good point, CJ. Jarrell, he needed it. Bahamas were a disaster, and they needed to kind of exercise some demons, and I think they did that in a pretty impressive way.